Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 438 at scavengerlife.com.
My Toyota truck has a new frame on it.
Yeah.
I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That kind of a guy we know who does work for us, he was like, hey, you should check that out. Those frames like rust. So I was like, yeah, you're right. I took it in. They're like, yeah, you're right. And then Toyota was like, we'll give you a new one. And they did.
At no cost to you?
I know. I kept every time I talked to him, I was like, this is at no cost to me.
You're like,
right?
You're not going to charge me for this.
Like, is there some kind of a hidden deal? But yeah, they just gave me the keys. They even gave me like an itemized thing for how much. It was $12,000 for them to do it. I think
Toyota to pay for.
I think my truck's only worth $7,000. So I don't know. It's one of those rare things. I don't question it. Where like a corporation does right by you, by me.
Yeah, you're like, how?
It's awesome. I will drive that thing. I have 160,000 miles on it.
You can drive it till
I'll drive it to 300. Let's do it.
Till the wheels fall off.
Yep.
Which they probably won't.
Scavenger style. And I did have that really nice truck that they gave me for a week, like a brand new
God, that thing.
Toyota Tacoma with the extra cab, and it was really sweet, although it was automatic and I was standard, but it was just like driving like...
Oh, it was like a marshmallow. You're just like gliding down the road.
So I gave it... I still like my truck.
Yeah,
Manual,
it's dirty.
Just dirty. I saw a guy at the dump he was a younger guy, and he had about that same truck.
Yeah.
And asked him how expensive it was.
Right.
Because he had just bought it. $38,000.
Guess what kind of truck you could buy for that price?
What kind of truck?
The Tesla Cybertruck.
That's right, you could. The Cybertruck.
In a couple of years.
Yep. So eBay for us this week, since that's what this podcast is about, and scavenging, is about our inventory system. It's begun. We had our helper is now doing it. Instead of her taking photos of stuff, we're just giving her bins, and she's going through.
Yeah, so we give her bins. She's really good at titling, so she's recognizing a lot of this stuff. She's like, I listed this stuff, so I know what it's called. But I'm like, if it has a name on it, just guess what it's called, whatever. Find it, put an inventory number, put it back in the bin.
Right. And then we have a bin of if she can't find it,
right,
put it in that bin, and we'll check.
Right.
And so far, it's only been
3 things.
Okay.
One thing was just mislabeled, and I had to fix the listing. I'm like, oh, okay, I see why she couldn't find this. Random, which was actually good to know. So I put it back in a bin. I put a number on it, put it back in a bin. One's a set of steak knives. I haven't researched that one yet. I don't know if it's mislabeled or we typed it wrong or something. And then one's 2 Pez dispensers. Which I'm going to get rid of anyway. Cause I don't know. I'm like, are they garbage?
Yeah. I guess it depends if they're a vintage or whatever.
I don't know why those I have no record of those.
See, and so that's the thing. So people were saying when we started doing our inventory system, we're going to find these items that people, the theory is, the hypothesis is that eBay is like deleting listings.
Right.
And so we're like, okay, let's see. So
the thing about the Pez is I have no record of it in my email or on Inkfrog. Like, I'm like, I don't know if we ever we just throw it in a bin and forgot to photograph it?
It is going to be interesting. I mean, we're only she's done maybe 300 items or something. I mean,
so she's done how many? I don't even think it's that much, like 5 bins,
right? Out of 8,000 items. So we're still early in days, but it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, some people are saying it's like up to 20% of their items they can't find. I mean, that's crazy.
I don't know.
Well, we'll see, number one, how many items are not in our store but in our inventory.
Right.
And we'll see if there's a pattern. I mean, there very well could be us.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't actually put it on eBay, and it got into our inventory.
The only thing I can think about those Pez dispensers is it was when we were taking photos, and it's one of those things where you got interrupted and then you threw it in the pile like it was done. You're like, I did that.
That would happen.
Something like that could easily happen.
We'll see. But the cool thing is she seems pretty quick at it. It seems like she can do about a bin an hour.
A bin an hour.
Although some bins have just a lot of bulky stuff, so I hope she could do a bin faster.
Yeah.
We have 95 bins.
Yeah, we have
So
95 bins.
do the
She's
math
gonna
on
go
that.
through them
Yeah.
fast, and the other issue though is like all the miscellaneous glass and ceramic. Like she's not gonna do those. You and I
Yeah.
have to do those, or those just don't get done.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's the bigger challenge is that there are, I can do it in my head right now. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's like 20 shelves
it's 20.
of just where there's just stuff kind of lying out. Glassware, pottery, and then we have just like big bulky items, rugs. And so, yeah, it will be up to us to choose. I mean, she might be able to do it. I don't know.
Well, it's freezing back there,
Yeah,
so
it's
that
gonna be-
might not be a great thing to have someone do.
It's going to be tough in the, but anyway,
Yeah.
it's going to get done. We're excited.
It's getting done.
Yeah, it's a good example. Anyone that has heard this podcast, we are very slow to do things sometimes like this, where I think we've been talking about this for like 4 years.
I just didn't. I just, you know what? I was like skeptical of the process where I was like, I'm going to give her a bin and be like, you don't know what any of this stuff is. None of it's labeled. Go find it in my inventory. It's actually, she's like, yeah, this is super easy.
Right.
I'm like, oh,
Right.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
But the cool thing is yeah, so now when something sells, if it's been inventoried, it shows up on that little
Custom SKU.
custom SKU, and it's also in the...
I also had a light bulb go off, which I'm sure like 70 people told us this already. You can search by custom SKU. Mm-hmm. So if you have the SKU number that you've custom made for your business that makes sense for you, you can just look it up and be like, what's in this bin? Here it is.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I'm like, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully people that have started eBay stores in the past several, 4 or 5 years are already doing stuff like
Like
this.
they started
Already,
from the beginning.
Because, there's a lot of talk about it. I'm sure if you Google it, there are videos about it. I just know when we started, no one was talking about an inventory system. I mean, people weren't really talking about any of this stuff. So.
Well, I also think people weren't really, when we started, they weren't super into Amazon, and Amazon people love like an inventory system, and Amazon, gives you SKUs and stuff like that. So I feel like that's like a crossover, but also like for us personally, I never thought we'd have this many items with a freaking warehouse in our backyard. So I'm like, we just had clothes in a garage hanging on a pole with a plastic thing over it.
Because it was dusty.
Yeah, we were just like, that's all we had. I didn't think it...
And plus we've changed our inventory places. Let me see. It was that house.
Yeah.
Catherine and Todd's.
Yep.
Here.
Storage.
So like 5 or 6 times
Yeah.
we've moved things around, and each time has kind of grown. So I don't know. I mean, to be fair, we did have an inventory a system. I mean, it's not like things were just piled up randomly.
Yeah.
There was an inventory. It was just kind of like very kind of like insider knowledge kind of inventory system that other people could never learn.
Yeah.
So now it's normal.
Well, now it can get learned.
Yeah.
So it's already super useful. Like there's been things that have sold in the bins that we started labeling, and I'm like, it's in that bin. We just get it. We don't have to ask. It's numbered. I'm not like, it could be here, 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 or here. So check those places. No, it's in that bin. Oh, I love it.
Cool.
Yep.
Was there any shipping issues during the week?
The shipping, the one shipping issue is kind of a customer issue where someone shipped I shipped an item to New York City in someone's apartment building. It got unclaimed, meaning they either don't live there or they didn't claim it from their front desk. It got sent back to me, and now they're like, oh, can you send it to California? And I'm like, I can, because you're asking me to, but you need to repay for shipping. I can't see their email address because it's been more than 14 days on eBay. I actually also can't see it on PayPal, so I can't send them an invoice. So I'm like, how do I get, what is the process here?
Is that dress?
It's a dress, yeah. So I almost need to call eBay and be like, I need them to repay for shipping. How in the hell? I'm not allowed to send them my email address through eBay, even though they bought something from me. It's just, so that's a shipping issue, that's an eBay issue. I'm like, what do I do? do I just send them my Venmo name? I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a shipping / eBay / PayPal problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those are those edge cases that eBay doesn't do very well with, just because it's not normal. Like it, it's kind of like outside of the normal process that eBay doesn't, I guess, kind of think about when they're building.
I think so this was something new that I noticed, where I was like, I never knew that you couldn't see someone's email address after 14 days. Why?
Right.
You're like, this is a customer of mine. I'm having an issue.
I mean, especially if the return rate is 30 days. I mean, at least do 30 days. Like,
right, at least do 30. Yeah. So, I don't know. That was weird. I'll figure it out.
Yep. Okay, so our week, we sold 37 items.
Yeah.
You're like, okay. But we made $1,400.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it was like $1,398.
There were several $100 sales.
Yeah.
Sales of $100+ And then when you see that, you're like, thank you very much.
I know, it's nice. I think that we are at the point where it's just kind of like we have to deal with what it is right now.
Yeah.
And right now we're making the money as we need, and it's fine, and we're tweaking our store, and like that's
just, it is what it is.
That's the way life is. So that's good.
Yeah.
So we did the nice thing is that we're getting some nice sales.
Right.
So we sold like a little pendant.
It's a necklace, a pendant necklace.
For like $120.
Now, the funny thing is like, this is what always kills me every week. And, we talked about it when people were like, your sales are slow because you have dead inventory. I have had this necklace for so long, and someone paid over $120, and that was, we have a 15% sale right now for like the holidays, whatever. Great sale, man. Yep. That was nice. That was an old necklace, and it was a cool one. So
we sold like I guess it's a juicer. It's like
like a citrus juicer.
Glass juicer where you take your orange and you push on it.
What are those things called? It's just a citrus juicer.
I guess it's these days no one. But the thing is that the thing about it, we sold it for $110 or so. It's that green glow-in-the-dark glass, right?
Vaseline glass or uranium glass, but I didn't market it as that, actually, which was kind of stupid. Right. Maybe it was before I knew you could
I think that's before we knew that, but...
it was this gorgeous green depression glass juicer.
Right.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And for those of you that don't know, it's just one of the... It's you see it, and it's kind of like see-through green glass, kind of like... But if you take it into the dark with a black light, it glows because it's some people are really into that kind of stuff. So, if you go to antique malls, there will always be the guy or the person that has a whole booth of that stuff. Yeah, because it's just a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Like, look at this! I have every little piece of uranium glass you can find.
It's beautiful stuff. Yeah. I think it's gorgeous. It's just I had some beautiful pink depression glass that I bought when I was in college that had like wings on it. It was amazing. I think I sold it on eBay. But I was like, what am I going to... It's a cream and sugar set with a tray. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with this thing?
Yeah. We sold a vest.
Yes.
For $160.
It's a hunting vest.
A Barber?
It's like a British, super fancy British brand. Yeah. Like, my helper helped me pull it out, and she's like, what is the deal with this? Why did it sell for so much money? And I'm like, it's one of these fancy... It went to, like, a really fancy town in upstate New York. I'm like, okay.
It's like suburban mom, hunter...
Rich hunter... horseback riding style. Yeah, exactly. So cool. Look, I will take $160 every day, all day long for things like that.
Exactly. So, I mean, so those are the things that made our week good. Right. So that always feels good. Okay. Scavenge of the week. We did a bit of scavenging.
A little bit.
But we're still kind of in the not like full-on scavenging mode. I think we're going to be focusing on doing our inventory. And so I guess that's just our choice of the business right now is like, let's get organized.
Up
to speed.
Yeah.
our other helper is now coming 3 days a week to pack.
It's 2 days.
2 days.
I'm trying to get her to come 3 days, but it just never happens. I could just be like, come 3 days because I need you to.
And so we now are shipping we have a 2-day handling time.
We have 2-day handling time.
So that works out perfectly.
Well, so what was weird about this week is there was a bunch of stuff that sold over the weekend, and we shipped a bunch on Monday, like so many things. And then she was like, oh, I'll come Wednesday. And I'm like, 2 things sold. Like, and they had to go out Wednesday morning. So I feel like I need to adjust my handling time. Because if stuff sells Monday night, it has to go out Wednesday morning. But if she comes Wednesday afternoon, I'm like, I had to pack that stuff because it's supposed to go out.
Did you just change the cutoff date or something? I don't know.
Well, that's the handling time.
Right.
I mean, it should be 3 days then. If it sells
3
Monday
days.
night, it's got to go out Thursday morning. Because if she comes Wednesday night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird...
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
If she didn't have a full-time job,
okay,
she could come Wednesday morning.
Then maybe we need to do that. Then is change it to 3-day
I
handling.
might do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to, but I'm like, you know. Anyway.
Yep. Customer issues. I mean, other than that one with the person who didn't pick up their item.
I have an international item going to Venezuela that has absolutely no tracking on it, and he opened a case. And it sucks because he paid $20 for it, but then he paid $50 shipping because it's... So I might have to refund all that money. It's $75, which I'm not happy with. And I called eBay and I was like, it got scanned at my house, and then there's nothing else.
Right.
He told me over messages, it's in my country. My post office said it's in my country. I'm like, cool. He said it's in his country. They're like, that doesn't count.
Yep.
Great.
So it was first class international or first?
No, it was like a small priority flat rate thingy.
Yep.
$50 for shipping. It's got to be. So yeah, it's just sitting in Venezuela somewhere.
Like a country that has like riots and stuff. It's like, oh my god. Wow.
So the good thing. So here's the thing. He opened a case. Item not received. We've been talking back and forth, translating, and finally he was like, "It's okay. I'll let you know what happens." That's what he said. And I was like, okay, great. Let me know what happens. And I'm hoping that he's not like, and after the cutoff day, whatever day it is next week, I want my money back. I mean, I hope he's just going to like wait till it gets there. I'm like, I'm sorry it's taking so long, but they said it's in your country.
It's not my fault. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I shipped it. I don't know what else to tell you.
So at that, but I thought that kind, like if they pay for the higher shipping, isn't it supposed to have tracking?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course it is.
Okay.
It's going to Venezuela.
Okay.
Like, I sent something to Brazil the other day. Same thing. Little flat rate, whatever. Fully tracked. But, you know, like you said, Venezuela is in chaos.
Did you call the post office? Or
I went to the post office in person. Look, there is no calling the post office anymore.
Okay.
Like, you used to be able to get someone on the phone.
Right.
You can't anymore. I've not had anyone. It's like one of those robots that like puts you in a circle. So I went to the post office. I mean, they were like, yeah, it got picked up at your house on X date. And I'm like, is there any other info? And she's like, nope. Great.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. It's interesting that they would.
It didn't even show that it went to like our
Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia. Like,
right.
It didn't even show that. So it was weird. I don't know. It's one of those things where you're like, ugh. Like, I wish I had a solution, but I worked as much as I could with my customer.
Yeah.
You know, I communicated with them like every single day for months, or you know, less than a month. Sorry, it's been like 30 days.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that
happens.
Yep.
Sometimes I should have canceled that sale.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Or don't people say to just like only ship to countries you like or whatever? I mean.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Agreed.
But
sure.
Honestly, it's such a rare thing, and we do sell things to like South America, and things are fine. So it's just
exactly like that
thing.
one to Brazil. I'm like, it was fine. So
yeah. Okay, things we learned in the forum. We had a good week of just kind of everyone talking. It seems like there's been a crop of new people coming on the forum, which we welcome everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Glad you're there, and it's good to see people that have been around for a while helping out, just kind of asking. I mean, talk about shipping, like someone came on new and he's like, oh yeah, I've just started. I sold my first couple items and I went down to the post office and just bought the postage there.
And then I threw my receipts away.
Right. And now eBay's asking me like, where's your tracking? And I'm like, do I have to do that? And so look, I totally get it.
Right.
Like, welcome to eBay.
Well, it's just so funny. Like when I read that message, I laughed out loud and almost was like, you're joking, right? Yes, you have to put tracking in. Like, and then your customers are going to be like, where's my thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing about eBay is that, it's like it's so easy, just snap a photo and you sell it and you're done. But then it's like, you basically have to start becoming like a shipping professional.
Yes.
And the reason why tracking is important is to protect yourself as well.
And your customer.
Because that way, just like this guy who doesn't have tracking in Venezuela, he can be like, I didn't get it. And we have no proof. We're just like, I have no foot to stand on here, leg to stand on. So, yeah. So, and plus, if you buy a label on eBay, it's so much cheaper.
Oh my God.
How much cheaper do you think it is versus a retail? 20%?
It depends. It's like, is it first class? Is it big? Is
Right.
it bulky? Blah, 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 blah.
Right, that's true.
Is it going to California? Oh.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, it's funny because my helper, she's learning all the shipping. Like, oh, if it's this, then send it this way. If it's this, then what do they pay for? Okay, what's faster? Okay, they paid for a parcel. It's cheaper for priority. Great, do that. Yeah, it's just interesting because she's like, oh, it's weird when, it's the exact price they paid or it's cheaper for a faster one. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But, I think that's why we like the forum because new people come on. We remember what it used to be like. It's just kind of fun to think through everything we've all learned.
Right.
Doing this.
Right. I mean, it's funny to see a beginner's perspective and you're like, oh yeah, I remember those days where you're like, how important is this?
Yeah.
Can I just send it with a stamp?
I think it also reminds me how this business is really, I always remember that this is really your business that you started because I would be that old man even when I was
going to the post office,
a younger man, like going to the post office and just like I don't know how to print labels. And so
it's so easy to learn.
You were so good about learning how to do all that stuff from the get go.
I like shipping. Yeah. I like the post office. I think it's amazing. I always have ever since I was little. I loved sending letters. My friend from elementary school moved away, so we wrote each other a letter literally every day.
Yeah.
And we knew exactly how long it took to get to each other. And like, if I send it by this time on this date, she'll get it on the, so we were like postal nerds. So that does help to be like that. If you don't care and you're like, this is so annoying, don't be an eBay seller. Like, just don't.
Yeah. I mean,
just don't.
That is true. If you don't like to ship or learn that system, eBay is probably not going to be for you.
Or you better hire someone that does like it, Yeah. Luckily, my helper seems to be also a post office nerd. Like, she works with someone who works at the post office part-time. So I'm always like, tell me stories. Like, I want to,
And she said that they know us.
They know all the eBay sellers because they're like, oh, this guy's a nightmare because he lives up on the mountain and he has 1 million packages and whatever. And then I'm like, well, what about us? And I don't know if she's saying this just to be nice, but she's like, oh, you guys are like one of the good ones. I'm like, you better say that.
We do put all of her packages in like IKEA bags so she can take them to her truck.
You and I both help her anytime we are home. We run out there and we bring them.
We're very grateful for that.
So,
okay, let's go to the questions that people sent in this week.
Okay, you can email us audio file to our email. It's thescavengerlife@gmail.com. Or you can call our voicemail line. The phone number is 540-407-8486.
Hey Scavenger Life, this is Matt calling from Kansas City. I'm calling today to tell you about something Etsy has recently done that is really draconian. So they came out with a new policy I found out through email that says if you get 1% or higher of negative customer feedback for 2 consecutive periods, your shop will be permanently shut down. Now, I found out about this because I had 2 negative reviews over a 60-day time period, and it's just one of these things where the customers leave bad reviews and there's nothing you can do about it. They're unhappy. They didn't look at the product description for the used vintage stuff I sell. And Etsy then reached out and said, hey, if this happens again, your shop is going to be looked at and you will likely be permanently banned from the website. There's kind of an uproar on this on the Etsy forum, and I have no idea if the company is going to change policy for something that's as unpopular as it's been right now, but it's really concerning that just getting 1 or 2 bad feedback in a 60-day time period could be cause for my entire store to be shut down. Keep up the good fight. Talk to you later. Bye.
I agree. That's insane.
Yeah, I mean,
That's nuts.
yeah, we've tried, every now and again we'll throw some things on Etsy to try it, and then we just lose steam because it just seems like another thing.
Right.
Things don't sell very well, but we're not really going all in. Anyway, but I know some people love it. It's got a certain thing. I will say, though,
Yes, what will you say?
all of these sites, like Etsy, and Etsy's been around now for a while, but at one point Etsy was like Poshmark, it was like the new upstart. It was like really easy to list, their listings are really cheap.
Yeah.
And then Etsy got popular enough where they became public.
Right.
And now they're like a real company that they have to make real money.
Yep.
And then they start doing what eBay and Amazon do. A lot of rules, a lot of systems.
They're pushing free shipping like crazy.
Right. I mean, they're trying to just create sales because, the shareholder needs money. And I got to say, that's going to happen for any of these sites. So Poshmark seems like people are really into it. Super cool. You know what? Poshmark, if it continues with the success it is, it's going to go public. And then they're going to start having rules that people don't like. Right. And
they're also not subsidized by investors at that point. So, they might still be, but startups are subsidized. So they're like, everything's free and just do everything.
And the whole point is just to get as many
users
as possible.
Users.
Right.
Yep.
And it doesn't really matter how they get that, and it's all being subsidized by a VC capital. So I'm sorry to hear that, but it sounds like Etsy's just becoming like eBay and Amazon that have those own kind of rules. I mean, that seems pretty strict.
That's pretty strict, especially if there's not a good appeal process. I mean, there's an appeal process on eBay where I'm like, I need this removed, you know? But they're not going to shut my store down unless it's egregious, unless they're like, you got 10 negative feedback. I don't actually know.
Well, I mean, actually, it's one thing we're talking about on the forum this week. Someone said that they bought an item on eBay and they were like, I need to find someone in the States. And it turned out that person's actually in China and that they weren't happy, and they have every right to be, because we've had this experience where eBay should punish these sellers who claim they're in the States. Yeah. But then actually they're in China and they don't ship on time and they have a long handling, or they, they're not following their own a rule. So it's almost like an eBay in some ways needs to be stricter on that,
I mean, exactly. I hear you. That just, having 2 negative feedbacks and having them be like, you're shut down.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay and Ryan, just had some comments on your previous episode. You guys said that people were saying it was riskier to use your own cash to build a business versus borrowing money to do it. That doesn't make sense to me, because when you borrow money, you're still 100% responsible to pay that money back, and you have to pay interest on a loan, so it's more expensive to borrow money. And I think you also, if you're using 100% of the cash, of your cash, you've already put in the work to earn that cash, worked really hard to do that, I think you're less likely to waste money. So if someone hands you a check for $20,000 and you just have to pay interest, you're probably not going to make as good of business decisions as you would if you worked for all that money. So I think there's just a lot of benefits to using your own cash, and like you guys are building real estate, and I think it's great to use cash to build that, because the market goes up and down, and if you borrow money and then the housing market crashes and you can't get any renters, then you're still paying that money. So This seems like paying cash is better in my opinion. I guess to each their own. As far as eBay not being declining again, being a good place to sell, I guess I have a bit of an optimistic view on that, but I know the YouTubers are bringing in a lot of people, but I think when they get in and see how much work it requires, a lot of people die out really quite quickly on that. And even if it is bringing in more people that stick around and are serious sellers, that might be good for eBay sellers as well, because there will be more listings with high quality photos and stuff like that, and we'll all be making eBay a better place for people to shop. So I would think that would bring in, more customers, and I just think it's going to stay balanced. As long as we keep finding trash, we will have a way to be free. Thank you guys for all that you do with your podcast, and talk to you later.
So yeah, I mean, thanks for the call. I like all those thoughts.
Yep.
I think the whole idea of using other people's money to make money, it's not so much. I mean, again, I may not be saying this correctly. It's not so much going to a bank and taking out a loan that I need to pay back.
Right.
It's more about the idea of these startups or Shark Tank or something. It's like you go to an investor and that investor puts money in the business.
Right.
And then if the business fails, I mean, you're out your money, but the Shark Tank guy isn't expecting you to pay back the $100,000. It's a loss for him. And
right.
So, or Facebook or something, Mark Zuckerberg didn't have $1 billion to put into Facebook. He just got a VC investors.
Yeah.
And if Facebook failed, he wouldn't have to pay back $1 billion.
Yeah. He just walks away.
So that's just, I think it's kind of a fantasy world where maybe people at our stage in life, we don't have those kind of investors, it is more just a working man's kind of thing. Cash in my pocket, I invest in my own money, right. I put my own sweat equity in, I own everything.
I also hate borrowing from the banks.
Yeah.
Just to make that clear.
Right.
Absolutely hate it.
Right.
I hate the process.
Yeah.
I hate everything about it.
Yeah, and
I have to do it.
And the interest, on our fridge right now, we have all of our loans.
Yeah. Loans/mortgages.
And I printed out all the payments we have to do for the next X amount of years. Each month we cross it out, and we can see how much interest we're paying each month. Yeah, it's a
nightmare.
And we're trying to motivate ourselves to at one point be able to pay these off faster. But yeah. But I will say, without the bank loans, we couldn't do anything.
Right. Right. So I love cash. I love it. I love paying for things in cash. I love going to the lawyer and writing a check to someone for real estate in cash.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep.
We've only been able to do that a couple times.
Yep.
And it's preferred. So yes, I agree with you on all those points.
And then the second thing, we, look, eBay, I agree. People are buying online. More and more people are buying online. More and more people are buying more and more stuff online. So it's actually not good if eBay starts shrinking as far as the number of people who sell things and the goods. You want eBay to have as much stuff so people keep thinking eBay is a place where I can get anything.
I can find any weird thing.
I mean, whether or not there's some kind of saturation point, I don't know, but I think there's saturation points with certain items,
sure,
the green glass. Now suddenly everyone starts putting up green glass, and then that's a saturated market. But then there's plenty of other things. So
I think that with eBay, there are trends and there are things that go out of style, and things that we sold 10 years ago that we could find everywhere and sell like crazy. We're not finding those things. We're not selling them.
Yeah.
But it just changes, And
I also think that a lot of people, there are waves. For some reason it becomes a trend. A lot of people come in and they go out, get stuff, and I'm going to make $1 million selling online, and then they drop out because it's not easy, it's a lot of work, or their life can't handle the instability of selling online. They're not making a weekly paycheck, and because they have family or other things, they can't handle the ups and downs, as you've heard in our podcast.
Right.
So, if you're in it for the long haul, I think it'll be okay.
Hi, Jay and Ryan. This is Nancy calling from Atlanta, Georgia. And I just wanted to call in regarding the speculation about the future of global shipping when you were talking about the new eBay shipping program. And I just wanted to let you know I helped my sister start an eBay store just recently. And in setting her up, I was walking her through how to do a listing. And her listings do not allow her to choose global shipping. It's not even an option anymore. And I thought it was interesting, and I wondered also about the future of global shipping. I've been selling for about 4 years, and of course global shipping is an option still for me, even on my new listings. So I don't know why going forward new accounts or new sellers, they're not allowing that as an option to even choose. So I just wanted to add that to the speculation. Thanks for all you do. Love the podcast and look forward to future content. Thank you.
That is super interesting. I wonder if they're going to shut it down.
Well, the reason why this is an interesting call is because we were talking about that. There's this new thing called
eBay Send?
Right, where it's like some new eBay program to help people sell internationally.
I mean,
outside of global shipping.
Right. So to me, they're like, it must be guaranteed tracking because that's what global shipping is. It's guaranteed tracking.
So, but eBay, we have not heard any information about eBay shutting it down, but I can see it. eBay, it's probably a pretty big thing. Like everyone sends it to the Kentucky warehouse.
Right.
Was it Pitney Bowes?
Pitney Bowes is in charge of it.
Is a contractor.
So
and then
So what's interesting is, to me, that's like a weird, bulky process, like you said. So Pitney Bowes gets it, and then they print the international label of the international carrier, like Canada Mail or whatever. Right. Somehow they're able to do that in country. So, but you're like, why not just use the post office and make sure the tracking goes all the way to the end? Do that.
I don't know if when they started eBay global shipping, if just tracking hadn't been sophisticated enough, and now it is. I don't know. I mean, I think also just a lot of people back then when it started 8 years ago.
No, it's not 8 years. No. I mean, it's like 5 years, 4 or 5 years.
It seemed like a while ago that people were uncomfortable shipping things and having to print out like the customs. And so a lot of people were like U.S. only.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, the other answer could be, I don't know, maybe with a new people on eBay, they have like a waiting period. They first want you to make a reputation.
That could be why.
Then they'll turn.
If you have zero feedback, they're like, no.
But it is interesting. We still don't know what this eBay Send is. They haven't talked about it that I've heard in their eBay Opens or anything. So be interesting to see. Thanks for calling. All right, that's it for this week. You can check out our blog that we talk about, scavengerlife.com. And if you want to come to our forum, scavengerlife.com/forum, you can call and leave a question or comment.
The phone number is 540-407-8486, or you can email us an audio file. Our email is thescavengerlife@gmail.com.
We post an episode every Monday morning, sometimes Sunday night.
If you're lucky.
And then Wednesdays, we post our friend's video, Steve Schultz. He makes a cool video about what he sold that week.
It's awesome.
It's a fun way to learn. And you can hear our other podcasts or watch it.
Shampooandbooze.com, YouTube.
Yep.
.com/shampooandbooze.
Or you and your sister talk about like design and Airbnb, right?
Airbnb, short-term rentals. We're making videos now.
Yeah.
People are sending us their listings. It's really fun.
Basically, we're trying to, because we stay in Airbnbs when we travel, we're trying to get people to make their places nicer and not like you're staying in dorm rooms.
Right.
That's basically, I want to stay in nicer places.
Well, the funny thing is,
it doesn't cost that much.
Everybody who's sending us their listings literally has the most amazing listings. Right. I'm like, this is so easy. Right. So give us a challenge.
Probably the people that have those kind of places where they just like, oh, just like my extra apartment.
They're not listening to
throw a mattress on the floor. There's a coffee maker. You're good. They're not the ones who are seeking out. Like they don't even know they have a problem. Like exactly. Make it nicer. People.
Okay, shampooandbooze.com.
Anyway, you can do nothing else. Okay, all right, that's it. We're all done.
Sell trash, be free.
Bye.